Hello, Wings of Wisdom listening audience and Virginia's virtual viewers. I am so excited to bring Mrs. Mia James back to Wings of Wisdom. She's back by popular command. And when we were here previously, she talked about how she loved going under the hood. So to me, I said she is a financial mechanic. So I want her to come on today, give a brief bio, and also help us fuel our finances for the future. So, Mrs. Mia James, thank you for coming on and going beyond the busyness. So, give Virginia's virtual viewers a brief bio and ignite us because we need the wisdom that you have.
Well, first of all, thank you so much, Mr. for having me on today. It's always such an honor and a pleasure to just talk to you because you are a person of great wisdom. So thank you again. And again, I'm Mia James. I'm so blessed to be here and meet you all. And I am a financial wellness coach, and I have been teaching financial education for over 15 years. My degree is actually in economics from UCLA, and I also have a master's in psychology from NYU. And I take that approach to finances, more of a holistic approach to finances, because I know that everything is connected. Our health impacts our wealth impacts our health, mentally and physically. And so I'm really, really big on holistic financial awareness. And, now is more socially acceptable to talk about money, right? So we want to bring that conversation to a safe place. We want you to know that you can ask any questions that you have, and that this is a place where you can get the answers. And even if we don't know the answer, we will get the answer for you because we all learn and grow together. And so I'm a wife. I am also a TT. I love having fun with my niece and nephews. And I am a world traveler, similar to Miss Virginia here. And I absolutely love, hey, Natasha, absolutely love traveling the world and eating amazing food and hanging out with my awesome husband. So that's a little bit about me.
Yes. Some of our new viewers may not know that you fired your boss at the age of 40 and then you launched your wellness holistic financial company. So tell me, in that transition, what was your greatest lessons from going from employee to entrepreneurship?
Oh, that's a great question. So, actually, my biggest lesson was learning how not to work all the time, right? Like, I had to learn how to have boundaries with myself. Also, okay, it's a tie because I also had to learn how to live without consistent revenue. I mean, I made revenue every month, but the amount of revenue was different. And so, when you have a job, every 2 weeks or every month, you're going to get X amount. And so I really had to learn how to navigate. I definitely learned how to live below my means some months. And, and I still save. Like for me, making sure that I always paid myself first was a priority. And then, God first, then me. And that was a huge lesson for me. It's like, okay, I'm used to making X amount per month. And now I've had to shift that mindset a little bit until, as I've grown in my business. And then also just not working 10, 12 hours a day because I love what I do. It's very easy to just keep working and working and working. But my husband said to me the other day, he was like, did you leave one plantation and create a new one for yourself? Okay, honey. Well, so I'm very mindful. I do not work 7 days a week. I work 6 days a week. I take a full day, 24 hours off. And that helps me to do what I have to do. So those are my biggest lessons is boundaries with myself and my time and not working, and also learning how to manage my finances when it's not the revenue is not necessarily consistent every month.
Wow, wow, wow. Yeah, that shift in expecting that paycheck to come on a regular basis to actually creating that income to come in, that's the challenge. That's the challenge. So
Mhm.
tell me this. I know that, our vehicles need maintenance all the time, regularly,
All the
and
time.
so do our finances, right?
Yes.
So, how do you know what warning signs are there when you know that your clients may be on the brink of a financial vehicle breakdown?
So one is when you have exhausted all your credit. Okay. Been
Mm.
there. Trust me. I know I have definitely been there. Also another thing is when you have more month than money. Okay. So when I do a financial needs analysis, that's when we look at what you have coming in and what you have going out. And we offer those complimentary because, for anybody to help you, it's just like when you go to the doctor, you need to be very detailed with the doctor so they can actually properly diagnose you and get you the help that you need to heal. So I do a deep dive in the same way financially, like, I'm a money doctor, right? So when I look at it and I see negative, my next question is, okay, how are you making up this money every month? Is it credit? Are you pulling from your savings account? Because what I also notice is some people they save, but then they immediately pull it right back into checking. So you're not necessarily saving money. So those are the key things that I'm looking for. Like, are you living off of credit? And are you using your savings to maintain normal living expenses?
Yes, and in this environment right now, that's what's happening with a lot of people. So your complimentary services is valuable. So I'm grateful that you know how to navigate and help those individuals, who need your expertise. So I know you started in the seventh grade. Well, really a little prior to that, because your mom was Avon representative, and you had entrepreneurs actually surrounding you. So that's basically your stepping stone in a sense back then. But if you could go back to your younger self, what major financial advice would you give her that would be valuable for today and for the listening audience?
Absolutely. So the two things that I would tell my younger self, okay? One is to save money. So my dad taught me how to make money. Like I never ever feel any type of way about money. Like I always know like I can go make more, right? But I wish my mother, because my mother is an excellent saver, I wish my mother had taught me to save money because I would either invest money or and spend money, but I never like save. I would save, a little bit, but not significant, a significant amount. So I would tell my younger self, like, actually save cash, for emergency, a really solid emergency fund. The second thing I would tell myself is I would have continued investing. I actually started investing at 16. I asked my parents to open a Charles Schwab custodial account for me so I could start trading stocks because I learned about it and I was like, oh, this is fun. And because to me, it's more, I like numbers. So for me to see money like multiply and grow is actually fun to me. It's more like I'm solving a problem or something. Yes, I'm a little nerd. So I just want to put that out there to y'all. I am definitely a nerd. And so what happened was um this is kind of on a personal note, so just bear with me y'all as I tell this story. But my father was very very critical is the word that I want to use. And so I actually taught my father about trading stocks, and then he became a day trader. But basically, I got an opportunity to compete at the stock exchange because my portfolio in school was doing so well, and my father wouldn't let me go because he was like, "You're a girl, and you can't go and compete." So that literally like crushed my spirit, and I stopped trading for a long time. And if I was a stronger person in, or I had somebody to speak into my life at that time, I would have told my younger self to keep going and not give up, because I'd be a whole lot wealthier now if I had maintained. But I was just like, well, I can't do it. So that kind of messed up my trajectory, because if the earlier you start, you capitalize on compound interest, and you just continue to let it grow. So imagine that was almost 30 years ago. My portfolio would have been amazing by now, if I hadn't taken that break. So yeah, that's what
Wow.
I'm doing. Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's amazing to have that expert team. I know you had mentioned CPAs, tax strategists, those individuals speaking in your life. So, how important and can you break down the roles of those individuals and how the average person can actually create that team so that they can be empowering them to continue to stay the course?
Absolutely. That's a great question. I actually consider myself also a financial concierge. So I know what my wheelhouse is and my expertise, right? But there's so many other financial professionals that we need. For example, if you're a business owner, right? You don't necessarily like dealing with your money, or maybe you just don't have the time. However, I do want you to understand what these people are doing for you, because you also need to be able to see if mistakes are being made, among your team. So the first thing, oh, thank you, Juanita. The first thing that I have a bookkeeper. Now, what I do every Monday for my business, Sunday, I have a date with my dollars for my personal finances. And then my husband and I have a date with our dollars on Saturday. And on Monday, I have a date with my dollars for my business. Okay. Now, every Monday when I have my date with my dollars for my business, I go into QuickBooks. That's what I use to track my business spending and expenses and such, and I go in and I label everything. Now my bookkeeper reconciles for me, because I am not an accountant. I took accounting classes. I had to for econ. That is just my brain don't work. I work in finance, not accounting. So I always tell people that's not my red wagon. My bookkeeper reconciles and makes sure that what I put in and everything is accurate based on my account balances. So that's a bookkeeper. I also have a tax strategist, because the more money you start to make, you need to know different ways to save on taxes legally. Legally, okay, I want to emphasize legally. So you, just because you make a lot of money doesn't necessarily mean you have to pay a lot of taxes. Hence our president, as you can see, you really, if you do it legally, I mean, I don't know if you did it legally or not. That's not my uh not my area, but there are IRS tax codes where you can legally pay less taxes as a business owner, right? So that is, I have a tax strategist. She's amazing. If you need that information, please let me know, and she'll do a consult with you. She also does our taxes, and she taught me some things about the tax code that I didn't even know. And so now I'm able to take advantage of those in my business. The other thing that you can do, other type of financial professional you can have, is a financial planner. So financial planners, they are two types of financial planners. One is commission based and one is fee based. So my prayer partner is a financial planner and she is fee based. So she'll do a plan for a set amount for you, and then she'll manage your assets for you. Um, and then, so I also have a financial planner as well, right? Because even though I know finance, there's always something I don't know. And I also need to be accountable to what I said I'm going to do for myself and my business. So, and then also, obviously, you need an insurance person. So someone like Virginia and myself that can actually help you protect your assets and help you protect your income, because a lot of people don't know that you can actually have income protection. So if you were not able to work for whatever reason, you could still bring in a portion of your income. And then I would say, let's see if I have any other financial professionals. I think that I would probably say those would be your team. Oh, and a banker. So, especially if you do want to take out any type of loans for your business, for example, You want to have a banker who you can work with. You know, they know you, they know the ins and outs of your business, and they can help you when it's time for you to take out like any loans or get funding. So yeah, that would be the team I would put together.
Wow, the team. The audience is weighing in saying, date with my dollars. I love it. And I love the fact that you said on Sundays, you actually have the date with your dollars. So to me, that's like putting God first. And
Hmm.
then you said you have a date with your dollars with your husband on Saturdays. So
Hmm.
that's family. And then you have a date with your dollars with yourself. So you're empowering yourself so that you can give to your community.
Hmm.
So it's just so powerful how you can link all of that together in a team. I love putting acronyms together. Is for team is together. Everyone achieves milestones.
Ooh, I
Yes,
like
so
that.
yes, that's powerful. That's powerful. So Wings of Wisdom is built on biblical principles. So in Deuteronomy, the 8th chapter in the 18th verse, it says that God gives us the ability to produce wealth. So we're grateful that the Lord gives us these golden nuggets. It's like a download, and then we're able to execute. So shifting that mindset, how do you help those individuals to shift that mindset? What's the greatest lesson somebody can do so that they could actually achieve wealth?
Absolutely. Well, first of all, Deuteronomy 8:18 is one of my favorite verses. I pretty much quote it almost every day or say it to myself every
Mm.
day. And so back to your question. So the first thing I would say, and I always say this, is awareness around where you are now. For some people, that just even dealing with money and finances can trigger fear for some people, embarrassment, shame, because they're not where they necessarily feel like they want to be. And I always want people to remember that you are where you are for a reason. And today you get to choose, right? Like even in the Bible, when choose this day who you will serve, right? You get to choose. We're adults. We have choice. And so you get to choose, you know what, today I'm going to do something different. This cycle that I've been on is not working for me, and I'm going to get the help, get the education that I need to change the trajectory of my finances. Because, everybody has a day one, right? Everybody starts at some point. Some people wake up early in life, like I was just interested in money early in life. Some people wake up at 45, 50 years old. But as long as you say, today I want to do something different, then you have an opportunity to change. So awareness is number one. Two is making a decision. And then three is doing the work, because, and get help. Don't feel like you have to be embarrassed because, maybe you made some mistakes. I've made plenty of mistakes. I've been in and out of debt. Um, I've, made bad investment choices. But the thing is, it's all about how you frame it, right? Like you have to consider like everyone is learning, right? You don't know what you don't know. So all you can do is take the lesson from it and then do something differently next time. So those would be the things that I would say for wealth building, is to become aware of any hindrances that you have that are holding you back, like mindsets. For example, if you think everyone is trying to scam me, people are trying to take my money, well, that's what's going to happen, because whatever you believe is truth. So you also want to look at your mindset, right? Around, what do you think about money? Do you think money is the root of all evil, when the Bible actually says the love of money is the root of all evil? And I actually do actually love my money and appreciate it, because it allows me to give back to the kingdom. It allows me to, take care of our household and save money. And when I think the Bible, what it means about that scripture is like, if money is your idol and your God, and everything you do revolves around getting money, that is the root of all evil. But if you look in the Bible, many people were wealthy. Solomon was super wealthy. David was wealthy. Abraham was wealthy. Like all the flocks and the cattle and the herds that they had. And, the Bible says God gives us the ability to produce wealth. So there's nothing wrong with being wealthy. But the thing is, why do you want to be wealthy? And what mission does your money have? So that's what I would say.
Yeah, powerful, powerful. You got to have a mission for your money, right? And the kingdom must come first. So it's got to seek the kingdom of God first, and then all the other things will be added unto you.
Amen.
So got to have that as a priority. So when you work closely with your clients, I know most times, if not all times, you're overcoming these roadblocks. I remember you mentioning that. So overcoming the roadblocks, what was one of the most surprising hurdles that you helped one of your clients overcome?
So I had a client that had $90,000 in credit card debt, and I helped them to enroll in a debt settlement program. So they were paying about $2,000 a month in credit card bills. And so that's a mortgage for many people. And, not able to save. And so by enrolling them in the debt settlement program, they were able to reduce that payment down to 1,300, excuse me, and then take that other 700 and start building an emergency fund. And that's important, that when you're paying down debt, you're also saving, because if you don't have a savings and you have an emergency, then you go back deeper into debt, and it kind of resets what you're working towards. And so the biggest thing for me is making sure my clients are getting rid of any detrimental debt payments, because they call them wealth destroyers, right? Because the interest rates are so high. Making sure you're saving for emergencies and making sure that your assets are protected. So I'm a very big advocate on insurance. I have so much insurance personally, but also building generational wealth, because I can imagine, like, my mom received an inheritance from her dad, and it's, imagine if your parents left you $100,000, how much different your life would be. If you needed to pay off some debt, or you wanted to take half and invest it, and grow that money. And as a people, we need to really get into that mindset of building generational wealth, and not having the next generation start over just because we had to.
Absolutely. That is the key. I tell you. I remember you mentioned on the last episode, a lot of those nuggets still stick out in my mind, that you have a legacy drawer,
Mhm.
the wheels and the trust. So, how important is having that, the wheels, the trust, the insurance all in place so that we could build that generational wealth?
Absolutely. So, I know we all love our families, right? And I've heard wonderful stories, and I've heard horror stories. And I put it to you like this. I've had a colleague of mine, her father passed away, had tons of property, but he chose not to take the time to sit down and do wills and explain what all he had, right? So his daughter, she was telling me how stressed out she was trying to figure out, well, how do I pay this mortgage, and how do I collect the rents on his properties, and how do I do this, and how do I do that? And so what people don't understand is, when you don't have wills, trust, and all your documents properly documented, for lack of a better word, you're putting your family in a really difficult position, because they also don't have the authorization many times to do anything on your behalf, because you've never given that permission. So it just makes it, while your family is grieving that they've lost you, it just makes it so much more difficult, because now they're trying to figure out all of your personal affairs that you had and your business affairs, and they don't even know where to start. It's like finding a needle in a haystack. Versus, like, my grandfather, he had everything. So a will is simply your wishes. But if you have a will only, it still has to go to probate, and then the court gets to decide what happens to your assets. And people can contest the will. So if your parent left you a house, but your siblings are not okay with that, your siblings can take you to court, and then the court decides who gets the house. Or if no one gets the house, they're going to order you to sell it. But if you have a trust in place, all of your assets can be placed into that trust, and then your will say, this is what I want to happen, and that is what's going to happen, because a will is a part of a trust. Also within the trust, you have your ancillary documents. So you have, power of attorney, financial power of attorney, healthcare directives, things of that nature, so that if God forbid you were not in a mental or physical state to make decisions, things can still occur on your behalf because you have somebody in place that you can trust. And so we got to stop leaving our families in stress while they're grieving, because that's when people get taken advantage of. So if we can do it while we're in our right minds, while we're healthy, it just helps our family to have a much better situation when we do pass away.
Wow, golden nuggets, girl. I am so excited that I am connected to your team because together everyone achieves milestones. So, this is a powerful episode for me personally because I'm on this new endeavor with you and beyond the busyness. And it's been exciting. It's new and exciting. But I told you on the last episode, I'm about to hire you. So, I am grateful to be connected. But tell me this, what is the missing piece of wealth? What are the most like overlooked components that keep us from building generational wealth?
Really, it's just people are like, I don't have enough money. And okay, so here's the deal with that. That is very relative. So I'm all about the reframe. And what I mean by that is wealthy people pay themselves first all the time. Is a non-negotiable. Well, here at Wings of Wisdom, we are believers, so we pay God and then we pay ourselves. So that can just get everyone to consider, what would it look like if you did pay your tithes, and then you either saved money or in slash invested money and then dealt with bills from there, because that is how my mother was taught. Now, I don't know why she did not tell me. And I tell her all the time. I'm like, Mom, why could you just not just tell me that little nugget? Like, because that's what she does. And I had to learn that. I learned that when I started running my business full time, was to still save and to pay myself first, no matter how small my revenue was. So that is the biggest thing. People are like, well, I don't even have enough money to pay bills. Let me tell you what, you need to pay you first, because all those bills can be paid and then you still have nothing left. And then next thing you know, you're 65 and you don't have enough money to retire. So you have to be diligent and think about your future self. And maybe you do, maybe hopefully you can afford to pay all of your bills after you save. But maybe you don't go to Starbucks as much. Maybe you don't go shopping as much. Maybe you have to postpone the vacation for a little bit. I mean, I don't know. I don't postpone vacations personally. I can't tell you to do something I wouldn't do, but I mean, I don't shop that much because I have to invest. I have to think about my future, and I want to retire by the time I'm 50. So I don't have that much time.
Wow, wow. So that leads us to our action plan that I wanted to ask you if you could challenge our audience to take just one financial action today that could transform their future. What would that be?
So I would tell you to go on your calendar right now and block out maybe an hour of time, hour to 2 hours of time. And I actually want you to document um, all your assets and liabilities, because I want you to know what you actually have. Assets, what are assets? Assets are anything that you own. So let me put it to you like this. An asset would be any bank account, any retirement account, any brokerage account, any commodities like silver, gold, things of that nature, REITs, real estate investment trusts, anything like that. Now, we're not going to put, if you do have any property that's paid off, you can potentially put the value of it, but technically that doesn't go on your asset sheet because you haven't sold it, so it's not liquid. Um, so document your assets, and if you need a free resource, um, you can just send me a DM. I'm on at beyondthebusyness.com or Beyond the Busyness on social media. I'll put that in the chat. And then for your liabilities, it's just anything that you owe, right? And I also have a resource for that. Actually send me an email and I'll send you a free resource. But essentially, with that, the liabilities is credit cards, auto loans, mortgages, personal loans, anything you owe, and you want to know the balance, the interest rate, minimum payment, and current monthly payment. So at least become familiar with what your net worth is. So net worth is assets, total value of assets minus total liabilities. And this will kind of give you a gauge, like, do you owe more than you own? And if you do, now you want to start thinking about buying more assets. Okay. And that is going to help you to prepare for the future. So that would be my last nugget.
Wow. I was going to say, give Virginia's virtual viewers and Wings of Wisdom one last golden nugget, but you summed it all up. So how can I think you said you put everything in the chat, beyondthebusyness.com, where they can reach you?
Yes, and I'm going to put your link in the chat. So if you want to do a one-on-one with us, please use this link. And Virginia and I would love to do a one-on-one complimentary consultation.
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, now is the time to share on your electronic toys. We thank you for leaning in today and moving beyond the busyness to take out a few moments to embrace this webinar, this podcast, and we hope you have a wonderful Wednesday. And we'll see you on the next episode of Wings of Wisdom. Have a wonderful day.